Welcome to the Total Soccer Show World Cup Daily from Los Angeles, California, and a day where the superstars truly shine. Leo Messi looked superior when he put 3 past Algeria. Kylian Mbappe raised French morale when he got a brace against Senegal. Erling Haaland showed no malarkey when he got a brace against the Iraqis. Also, Austria and Jordan played. My name's Ryan Bailey. Joining me today, hello Taylor Rockwell, how are you?
I'm really good after that introduction. Before we started recording, Ryan said, I'm not sure what to do for them in the intro. And now we know what he did. Outstanding work, my friend.
They had no megastars. I don't get a rhyme. I'm sorry.
Marco Arnautovic, come on now. With his penalty goal and hobbling around for 40 minutes. You didn't love that?
I did love that. I love the hair as well. Gracefully going grey.
Was it gray or was it bleach blonde?
He's doing the fashionable grey thing, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It
Joe knows nothing about that.
It looked good. Joe Lowery, hi, how are you?
I liked it when the big lad was on the field. I liked it when Kaladzic was up there, up top. I think he should have stayed for the entirety of the 90 minutes. The Austrian Peter Crouch. I very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed the last game. It's been a day. It's been a long day, but it's been a fun day. Getting to watch 4 World Cup games. There's not a lot better than that.
That's right. 3 of us did that. Our 4th member, Graham Ruthven, he was at Disneyland today, so he will. He's had a lovely day off. So if you're watching on our stream, he's been replaced by a pile of towels.
Right. No, he's asleep. That is truly Graham asleep right now. Okay. He said he was going to try to soldier through, and then last minute needed a nap.
Oh, bless
the
him.
Slouched head is a nice touch. I must say. I didn't clock that until right now.
He's all tucking out after his day in the mouse house. God bless him. Oh, very good. All right, but the 3 of us shall persevere and talk about the big 4 World Cup games that happened on this here Tuesday. Before we get there, patreon.com/Total Soccer Show. That's a URL. Yep. Admit it, Joe. That's a URL.
Fine. You got me. You cornered me.
And if you go there, you get bonus content.
Are you happy?
Yeah, always. Always.
Good.
Very happy. Very happy that it is.
Oh, boy.
It's a late record tonight.
It sure is.
It's a late record. If you go to patreon.com/Total Soccer Show, you get our bonus content, including bonus episodes. We're shooting a bunch of them here in our Los Angeles headquarters. We've got bonus video content and access to our Discord server. All the cool kids are hanging out there. A lot of cool kids hanging out on our stream. You can watch us on YouTube as well. Links in the show notes for all that jazz. Let's get to it, shall we? Should we start with Argentina Thrill 3? Argentina's Thrill 3.
Yeah. Thrilling 3
against Algeria. Lionel Messi, he's quite good, isn't he? He got a hat-trick in this one. His 6th World Cup, he's still got it, it turns out. Absolutely. He's level with Miroslav Klose as the highest scorer in World Cup history. 16 goals to his name at the finals now. His 200th Argentina appearance as well, Joe, a week before he turns 39. He's up there with the Arnautovics in the age, but still doing it.
I mean, for me, the big takeaway from this game is savoring Lionel Messi. You know, we were watching this game together, and I think pretty engrossed from the start because of how quickly Argentina were rotating and how they're moving the ball in possession very early on in this game. And then that line-breaking pass from DePaul, which is unbelievable in its own right, how quickly that ball moves right on the ground, breaking multiple lines to find Messi. And then we talked about this as we were watching it. The ball leaves Messi's foot, and you just know. Like it was that way for the 3rd goal as well. The 2nd goal was the rebound off of the Zidane spill off the Alexis McAllister shot. But the 3rd goal that Messi scores, you just know it. Right. And I don't know how to quantify that. I'm the nerd of the 3 of us who likes to do that sort of thing. It's just different. Messi is just different. And we already knew that, right? That's nothing new. But somehow watching Messi every single time, you're renewed your sense of awe for how he plays this game. And the reality is we're not going to see him at another World Cup. We didn't think we were going to get him at this World Cup. This is borrowed time as far as I'm concerned with Lionel Messi. And I am absolutely soaking up every possible second of it that I can. He was electric in this game. He was the difference. It's not like Argentina were dazzling really for the entirety of the match. Algeria did some things that slowed them down, and Argentina didn't look bothered for part of this game. But Messi looked bothered, and oh boy, was he good.
No disagreement on either of the goals. I will say, though, the most impressive thing of this entire game was that he put in a tackle, Joe. Yeah, he went in for a tackle. Now, I think he did end up conceding a foul, but watching Messi also like chase defenders down and try to win the ball back and drop deep and kind of cover a lot of ground. That's not a thing I've really seen from him in my mind in a while. I know you were saying during the viewing that there is more of that to his Miami tenure than maybe I've seen, but just seeing the intensity that he was playing was really enjoyable. And then both of those goals, I know he gets the 3, but the 1st and the 3rd were just ridiculous. Like you can see as he winds up, you know what he's going to do. You know how good it's going to be. You know it's going on frame at the very least. And I truly can't think of another player in my lifetime, maybe ever, who you just know he's hitting the frame, he's hitting the target, he's going to cause problems with that shot, no matter where he is. It's just, it defies categorization. It defies datization, whatever Joe likes. You cannot do
it. I mean, it's special. It's one of the reasons why I'm so thankful that Messi is in Miami, right? Like, I don't care that it's closer to where I haven't seen Messi play yet, still in person. I would love to and hope I get to before he retires.
You've never tried, Joe? It's wonderful. You should try it.
You think I should? Yeah, is it nice?
Yeah,
it looks like great fun today. I was a little jealous of the 70,000+ people at Arrowhead.
Is it possible that that's what he's waiting for to retire?
Until like I see him. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think he's got a heart for me in that way. I'm so thankful that he's in MLS because I watch basically every MLS game. Like I get to see Messi, and I know that that's not true of most people, right? Most people who watch the World Cup are not watching MLS. Messi does this kind of stuff on a regular basis, but it's different in the World Cup, right? He clearly, Taylor, to your point, the effort levels that he was bringing, that Rodrigo de Paul was bringing, it's different than what they showed from Miami. Now, Messi did turn it on the playoffs last year en route to Miami's MLS Cup triumph. But really, his energy from the start of this game, it's not something that we see on every Saturday. And we see a lot of the attacking quality, but the defensive side was not new, but it was sort of dusted off for Messi in this game. And watching how this Argentina team functions around him, where the right-sided rotations are so fluid to allow Messi to go where he wants. And then after Messi goes where he wants, Rodrigo de Paul goes where he wants. Then after Rodrigo de Paul goes where he wants, then it's Montiel on that side who goes where he has to. Sort of, he doesn't get to choose anymore. He's the third piece of the puzzle, doing whatever he's told, and it just flows well when Argentina wanted it to. And again, I don't think they were operating on all cylinders tonight. It was the Messi game, not an Argentina game, but man, it was fun to watch. And even with the glimpse of systemic quality that we saw from Argentina, there was just a lot there.
And there are the stories about his early tenure with Miami where he sort of is demanding a higher standard and holding players accountable and going into the locker room at full time, even in like a regular season game that doesn't have a huge impact, and really giving people a go for not playing up to the level that he expects. And we know that's the case with Miami. I guess I knew it was the case for Argentina too, but there were moments in this game that just felt like, don't make Dad Messi mad. Like, he will turn this car around if we don't do what he needs us to do.
He will turn this giant dog around. So help him.
Exactly. He'll hop on and ride off into the sunset, and we cannot afford that.
It's a reverse button. If you pull the ear back. Never mind. I'm not sure.
But it was really fascinating to see a team that are very naturally and logically built around Lionel Messi. Why would you not? But then at the same time, it did feel like that made them largely functional. I don't think Algeria caused them really any problems, even with Algeria scoring, even with them having another goal that is called back for offside, 2 disallowed goals in this game. But it still felt like Algeria weren't really able to create much or ask a lot of questions of Argentina. But I don't think that's because Algeria were poor. I think it's just because Argentina are that good and have so many threats that the minute you get overextended, the minute you get too committed to the attack, they will break on you. And if you have Lionel Messi shooting, even in like a 2v1 against him, somehow he's still going to get a shot off, and oftentimes it's going to lead to a goal.
I think Argentina are defending champions, but somehow I and maybe others still sleep on them a little bit, right? And then you look at you guys haven't categorized them as this, but they're not a one-man team. They're definitely not. You look at that first goal from Messi, and it was like technical excellence, like front to back, right?
It's ridiculous.
That through ball from De Paul, everything they were doing there, just like it really hit home for me today. Like, these are the real deal. These Argentines.
Yeah, it's a weird team. There's really no way around it. Where the fullbacks are not big names, so there aren't big names all the way across the field. And Messi, I think for a lot of the world, it's sort of, let's dust Messi off. It's been 4 years. Let's watch him again, right? When he leaves Barcelona for PSG, I think that's sort of when people start to stop watching on a weekly basis. And then he goes to Miami, and even fewer people are watching, right? So Messi is this sort of, well, eventually he's got to be less great, right? I think that's what everybody's wondering. Guess not. I suppose not at this case. De Paul is another player that on a weekly basis, he's quite erratic, right? And then he shows up to the Argentina game. And Taylor, you made the great point about Messi. De Paul was doing the same thing. Like, he's actually trying and covering ground, and they're after it. Like, Argentina was after it. And so there's that weirdness where the other top teams of this tournament have players that are playing at the big 7 European clubs every single weekend. We're watching them all the time. Everybody's watching them all the time. And they're coming in great form. And you don't have a lot of questions about it. Argentina are different just in how they're built. And I think that does make them sort of an odd team in a lot of ways.
I did enjoy the moment when Rodrigo de Paul, I think, lost the ball and then sprinted back 30 yards to make a play. And Joe was just sort of like, that's what that looks like.
Right.
That's interesting to see.
He can do it.
I didn't know he could do that during the regular season. Yeah, man. And I think we have to pause and give at least a good bit of credit to Lionel Scaloni, their manager, who obviously managed them in the last World Cup, which they won. So not surprising that he's doing just fine. But we've seen other managers, both for club and country, struggle with how to get the best out of Messi or build a team around Messi, because it's not just as simple as like get him the ball and he'll cook. He will, but you can't really rely on that to be the overall game plan. And it feels like Scaloni has landed on the approach of like basically building a team around Messi, but still having plenty of talent that can create on its own. But I equated it like when Joe and I were chatting after the game with like a veterans team in like my amateur league where you go up and you've got like all these young guys in your team and you look across and it's like a bunch of like 40 somethings who are a little out of shape and you're like, oh, we're going to dust these dudes. And then you cannot get the ball off of them and they just move it because they've all played together for so long and understand how to play off of each other that they're just like keep like splitting the lines and finding these passes and getting goals. And that's what Argentina remind me of a team that you kind of expect to be falling off or not having the effort, not having the intensity. They're reigning champions. Do they still have the heart to go out there and fight as though they're desperate to win? And thus far, the answer is they do and can.
And I was impressed by the fight in this game from Argentina defensively. And this is things can be two things, right? Where Algeria were unimpressive with the ball. They had the majority of the ball in the second half. They had 60% of it, and they did basically nothing with it. They ended up with 0 shots inside the box in the second 45 minutes. With 60% possession, and especially against a team that when Messi is in the low block, he's not doing the most work to screen. Like you would hope you could do better than that if you're Algeria. So that's a big concern. Maybe we see Mahrez from the start from them in the next game. There are some changes maybe that could be made to the personnel to unlock them a bit. But at the same time, if that's true, I think it's also true that Argentina were stuck in defensively. They're in this 4-4-2 block. They sat quite deep for a lot of the second half. They can suffer, this Argentina team. And I think they showed that in this game. I almost wonder if that is almost as confidence inspiring as Messi still being Messi for them, where I don't know if there's any doubt if you're around him every day, I kind of doubt that you're expecting his level to drop. I think you still believe in what Messi can do. I think equally having your team be able to grit out a little bit of something. I mean, this is 3-0. It didn't feel like a 3-0 game to me.
No.
It felt like more of a 1-0 or a 2-0.
Yeah.
Argentina definitely the better team, but it wasn't 3-goal lopsided. But Argentina were able to suffer. That's the term that really does describe a lot of their second half showing. When you suffer and you do it well and you have the greatest player on the planet on the other side, it's a decent recipe.
Yeah. Well, it would have been a 1-0 were it not for Messi creating unreal chances from outside the box, right? To be fair.
Yep, totally right.
Yeah. And I think Algeria are probably going to be okay, right, going forward here, because with Austria and Jordan, I'd feel pretty good about them getting here because, you know, they're not a pushover by any means, or Algeria. So
I think I agree with that. Like I was a little disappointed with some of what we saw from Algeria because, again, I don't think we saw them at their best. I don't feel like we saw them get out of like second gear, really. And in a game where they were losing and kind of needed to really press their advantage or try to get an advantage or try to take advantage of that possession, it still felt like they were lacking certain chance creators or certain finishers. I thought Mazza was going to have a bigger difference when he sets up the opening goal that's disallowed. I was like, here we go. Man's going to cook through the middle. No one can stop him. And then I kind of think that's the last note I have on him for the rest of the game. With that said, it's Argentina. We've talked about everything they can bring to bear. Austria, we'll talk about them later, did not look like the most solid of teams and do feel like they have vulnerabilities that can be exposed. I was saying to Joe, I think that game against Algeria could be like a very dire 0-0, or it could be a frenetic all over the place 4-3, and neither one would fully surprise me.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have a lot of clarity on spots 2 through 4 in this group just yet, to be honest. I didn't think the gap, spoiler alert, between Jordan and Austria was especially large. Jordan are going to keep themselves in games because of how they play. And Algeria are something of a mystery box for me because I don't know if we saw their best 11. And they sort of ended up on the wrong side of some moments that we talked about already, but also looked uninspiring in their own right. So it does feel to me like it's open. I don't think Algeria should be panicked, right? This is a game that you expect to lose, and you don't come into it with that mindset. But everybody in this Algeria camp probably thought, okay, there's a real chance that we don't win this game and we don't draw this game. So I don't think Algeria should be panicked by any means, but they definitely have some work to do.
Yeah. Something special we did get in this game is something we haven't seen since the Adidas commercial with Timothée Chalamet in it. Zidane versus Messi, kind of. Luka Zidane, that is, the goalkeeper for Algeria. His grandparents, of course, Algerian. His dad being Zinedine Zidane.
Slightly large shoes to fill there, just a little bit. And I don't really blame him for the second goal. For people who didn't see, it's a blistering shot by Alexis McAllister through traffic. I do think Zidane has his feet set a little late, which is why I think he's not able to get down and kind of smother the shot. It's why he ends up having to kind of parry it a little bit. I almost said parody, which would not have made sense.
But would be fun.
There we are. Thank you, Joe. And then it spills out to Messi, who reacts faster than anybody because, of course, he does. And then the first goal and the third goal, I mean, they're just ridiculous. Maybe he could have done more. Maybe he could have had his feet set faster. It's late. But in the end, I think hard to blame him for some of those goals. More so, my inclination is to credit Messi and Argentina.
I think that's a strong inclination.
I'm not sure his dad agrees because we did get the one shot of Zidane in a box, and he was just shaking his head.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like the talking to you in the the ride on the way home was going to be a real thing there.
Okay, we did see that, but counterpoint, has he ever done any other kind of face? Ever?
That's a good point.
I like to think that at the end of the game, he's like, you must headbutt people. That's the only way to exert authority when things aren't going your way.
This is the stage for it, son. You've got the protective gear ready for it. Let's go. Very good. Argentina 3, Algeria 0. Argentina off to a rip-roaring start in their title defense. Very good indeed. We take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to talk about France and their win over Senegal. Do join us then.
Do we have any Keith updates for the Stream Squadron?
Hi, Stream Squadron.
Did we see Keith? I didn't see Keith today.
I have yet to see Keith. We did have the Airbnb hosts with the camera light on while we were recording, which has now gone off, which defeats my idea that maybe it's motion sensors and it's automatically going on.
So they're Stream Squadron now. They've
joined.
There's a better way to see it.
There's a good angle. Better lighting.
Yeah, exactly. We will keep you up to date. If we see Keith,
yes.
We need to have a word that the Stream Squadron can drop somewhere, maybe in the comments or somewhere else, just to maybe in our Discord.
Oh, could we do? Well, maybe they could drop it in the stream. No, that doesn't make sense. They're all Stream Squadron. If you're in the Discord, could you maybe sneak in like an avian species, sort of in a channel?
You mean a bird?
Yeah, a bird. Could you just a random kind of bird? Drop a bird name in the Discord, and we'll see it, and we'll know that you're in Stream Squadron.
Don't say tit.
Okay. Done.
We'll do.
Should we do another segment?
Let's do another segment. Let's get back in.
I think we're nailing it.
Yeah.
More birds.
Stream Squadron, we love you. We're enjoying your company very much indeed. Do
Melted
keep
Kingfisher.
No? Chicken.
I'm over 40 now. I care about birds. That's who I am.
Me too.
I regret what I've done.
Our favorite bird here is raven, of course. We have a raven quaffing.
It washes its kills in the bird bath, and it's slightly metal and very bloody.
I put my hands in it. I regretted it.
You sure did.
Somehow I can sense the YouTube viewers clicking away when they're not watching this live.
B block, here we go. Total Soccer Show, welcome back to World Cup Daily. Let's turn our attention to France 3, Senegal. Oh, Kylian Mbappe with the brace here and Bradley Barcola with the other French goal. Mbappe with the consolation late on as well. Mbappe becoming the French all-time top scorer at the World Cup. 58 goals. That'll be the French all-time top scorer, surely.
Yeah, 58 goals in the World Cup would be quite something.
Yeah, really good. But we did have Messi equalized it, right? He equalized closest record today.
Yes,
for
World Cup that came up in second one.
Yeah, so lots of records being set or tied.
Megastars and records. It's all happening on Tuesday. He overtook Olivier Giroud for that record. I think Joe, Senegal putting up some impressive resistance in this one, but France grew into it. Maybe the same. If we're going to use the 6-speed gearbox analogy, if Argentina could maybe go up to third gear, I'd say France were in second. Maybe they pushed it to fourth in the second half at some points. That's about it.
I think that's right on the money, Ryan. I thought Landon Donovan was on this game and he was critical of France in the first half. I think as he was right to be. Then they went to the panel on Fox at halftime, and Rebecca Lowe asked Thierry Henry about Landon Donovan's comments where he was critical of France, again, rightly so. And Henry goes, well, I don't know why you have to be like that. It's only been 45 minutes. Who knows what could happen in the second half. Well, yeah, that's 45 minutes down of a game that you're expected to win, and you played poorly. I think that was the story for France in the opening stage.
Wasn't the frustration that he called them arrogant? That he was like, they're showing arrogance, and that's why they weren't performing.
Frustration was who he was sitting next to.
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
But I think that was the thing that was
regardless.
More,
I think Donovan was right on the money. With whatever the criticism was, I think it was fair because France didn't show up for the first half, as far as I was concerned.
I mean, I think there's a difference between not showing up and being arrogant, because I think it can be that like you're not kind of clicking right away. Like, were Argentina arrogant when they lost to Saudi Arabia? Maybe, I don't know. But I think that that's maybe where there was a little bit of consternation with his criticism. And I also think it opens the door to like, you must be arrogant if you are to be confident, says Zlatan, who continues to mumble things semi-unintelligibly during his analysis.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
But I think regardless, I think Joe's point stands that it was not a good first half from France. I think they did figure some things out in the second half, namely that Michael Olise should be on the ball as much as possible, and that maybe creates problems for defenders that then maybe it opens up more space for Kylian Mbappe, who's quite good, it turns out. A strange day where all three of the huge performers really did just come to play and turned it on and played well.
It's crazy with Olise, right? Because he starts this game on the right side, And he is, I think, the best right winger in this France team. And then in the second half, the only real tactical change from Didier Deschamps is to flop Dembele and Elise. So Dembele moves to the right wing and Elise moves centrally. And Elise clearly is the best 10 in this team, or at least he obviously was in this game.
Yeah.
He changed everything. That ball he plays to Mbappe for the first goal for France is filthy. It is absolutely filthy. He sees a sliver of Mbappe making that run, and he leads him to the exact right spot. And it's a great finish from Mbappe as well. Don't get me wrong. But the pass is utterly absurd from Elise. And the fact that he can be that difference maker out wide, we've seen that with Bayern, or that he can be it in central areas. I mean, what a cheat code that is for Deschamps. Like a tactical get out of jail free card in this game. We were having lots of fun, Taylor, in the opening stages before the game really settled, kind of dissecting how France were rotating and how they're moving in possession. And you had Dembele at times dropping deep and Elise sometimes dropping deep. Yeah. You had Tchouameni splitting the center backs. You had Rabiot pushing forward. There was so much to digest. And then at a certain point in the first half, we realized, oh, that's great. You're not creating any chances, France. And they weren't really. They weren't actually breaking lines into dangerous areas. They didn't really threaten Senegal for large stretches of the first half. And then the second half happens, and Elise completely changes the game. It didn't look to me like there was a ton of other wild changes than that. But that one massive change to get, I don't know, at least France's best provider, if not their best player, on the ball, it was enough for Deschamps in this game, and it really, really worked.
And I think it underlines a point that Joe's made many, many times about several different national teams, that like to go far in a tournament like the World Cup, you do have to have a lot of depth to be able to cover for injuries and to be able to cover for substitutions, but then you have to have elite difference makers. And that's just kind of what it takes to be able to beat a team when things aren't clicking. And that's exactly what it was in the second half. It's Elise does a few little things to kind of generate some space. He gets the ball back, and then he takes out 5 defenders with like a 25-yard pass that's inch perfect. And then it's an inch perfect finish from Mbappe, like running away from goal, but getting his hips around it, putting it back across goal. And that's just where France have those difference makers, that you can be doing everything right and shutting everything down and making your tackles and playing smart, but one small gap for 5 seconds and boom, you're down 1-0.
Yeah. It's just really striking how stacked this French team are, as you guys have said. In like that front four, you've got Mbappe up top, Dembele behind him, Elise, as you mentioned, and Doué on the other side. You've got pieces like Cherki to come in as well.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous what they can bring. Barcola coming off the bench as well. I've got a question which might sound rude. I think we covered it in our previews, but Adrien Rabiot, is he like the Jordan Henderson of this group?
There's a bit of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
what's he doing there?
He sort of was the make weight, right? So when Dembele would drop deep in the first half, or Elise would drop deep in the first half, Rabiot is the one then pushing forward to balance that movement.
Right.
I think Deschamps, number one, he trusts him, right? He's been in this team forever now. And he is a decent ball player. He is able to progress the ball.
So he is
passing.
a Henderson.
Yeah, yeah. And I think his understanding of the movement that Deschamps probably wants from this attack, that we saw some of it just didn't actually fit, because not only did it seem like France were a bit out of sync, they were just sloppy as well in the first half. Mbappe's touch was off, passes were going out of bounds. It was like France is just sort of calibrated as the half was going on. Rabiot does look a bit like the polar bear popping up in Arkansas for sure, but I think Deschamps does have a vision for what he brings to the team.
Absolutely. And I think there's a very specific vision, and then there's a broader vision. The broader vision, I think, connects to what we were talking about with Argentina. Like, I kind of think of him in the same boat as Rodrigo de Paul, where he's so familiar with what needs to be done in certain moments that he's going to drop in and provide cover in the right half space, but then he'll stay central when you need him to. He'll be a ball-winning midfielder if he's challenging for stuff in the air or going for 50-50s, but also the Barcola goal is Rabiot picking up the loose ball, carrying it forward, and then playing in the ball for Barcola to finish, so he can also still create. So I think he gives you a lot of different roles. Maybe he's not going to be like an A+, 100 out of 100 player for France, but he's going to be like an 85 out of 100 in a lot of different spots. The other thing that I think is interesting about this French team, given the options you mentioned, is the way it seems like Deschamps likes to change his midfield based on who's ahead of them. Because this is a problem that I was talking about in the preview going in, that when you have Mbappe up top, it sometimes doesn't make France look as effective in the attack. And that's where he needs more stability, Deschamps, in that midfield, to have ball winners who can also kind of shield the back line and keep things pretty safe and simple. When he doesn't have Mbappe up top, when he has more of like a target player like Marcus Thuram, who's also in this team, then it tends to be it's N'Golo Kante and Warren Zaire-Emery, and there's a bit more dynamism in that midfield, and that also works for them. So it feels like Rabiot is like a standard safe pair of hands, and also beloved by his mama. But then also
who you sound scared of, by the way.
I am, because it feels like she can pop up at any moment.
That's the camera. That's the camera light that's been on.
She's the jaw. She's like the shark in Jaws, where she can just pop up at any moment, and it's what makes her kind of terrifying, but only to berate you from afar for having the audacity. She does make that noise when she walks too. Little known fact. But so I think Rabiot does a lot of roles for this French team, but is still ultimately, I think the Jordan Henderson, like him. Still, there's a bit of that, not just with Rabiot, but also with sort of the French back six. By that I mean the back four, and then their double pivot, which is they're world-class players in there. I thought Upamecano in particular did a phenomenal job on Nicholas Jackson in this game. I rate Nicholas Jackson very highly. I thought he was the best player on the field for Senegal in this match. Even so, the number of times that Upamecano shepherded him wide of goal and either took away his shot altogether or reduced the quality of the shot with his strength and positioning. I mean, it happened over and over again in this game. I was impressed by both sides of that battle. Upamecano clearly very, very good at that. And Saliba, I think, wasn't targeted by Senegal nearly as much because Saliba's an even better defender. So there's so much quality in the back. I'm not trying to suggest that there isn't. But there's also a lot of conservatism. There it is. First try, conservatism. Either one of those will work fine. No one help me. It's all right. I thought Hernandez and Koundé. Conservativology.
Yes.
Conservatization.
That one.
All right, conservatization. There's a lot. The fullbacks for France in this team, you had Hernandez on one side, you had Koundé on the other. Koundé often for Barcelona plays as that third center back in possession. Hernandez is not a high and wide fullback on the left side. And then you have the idea of Tchouameni, who's very much a stay-at-home six. And then Rabiot, who is not an elite player, right? So there is...
You're not scared of his mum.
I'm not scared of his mum. Come for me. It might be a problem for France as this tournament progresses. It also is unlikely to change because this is Didier Deschamps we're talking about. And as far as fun as that front four is, and as unlocked as they look to be in the second half, we know that Deschamps at heart is a pragmatist. And ultimately, with deep positioning of the fullbacks, two center backs who can handle their business in transition, a stay-at-home six, and Rabiot, you're not taking a whole lot of chances with that group, even if you have a front four who are going and sort of marauding across the field.
It's a weird one, though, because it's still like, my question going in was, is this going to be a Didier Deschamps France team, or is this going to be a fun France team?
Both?
And it feels like it was an attempt at both today, especially in that first half where multiple times you had all four of those attackers within 10 yards of each other. And it was sort of like, I've never seen a right winger, a central like attacker, a left winger, and a forward all standing in the right half space, kind of like passing the ball around. But then it also didn't work that effectively until there was a bit more structure, until Elise was brought centrally. So in the end, I guess pragmatism sort of wins out, but also pragmatism when you have 4 or 5 superstars in the attack means that your pragmatism is maybe at a higher level than, say, Jordan.
Yeah. Did the scoreline flatter France a little bit, Joe? Senegal were no slouches in this one, as we mentioned, sort of the attacking firepower they've had. Ismaila Sarr had that miss where probably took it on the wrong foot, and that could have changed the story a little bit.
Yeah, there were chances for Senegal. There just weren't an overwhelming number of chances in this game. They only ended up with 6 shots on the day. The Sarr chance right at sort of the cusp of halftime was a real chance, still with the height of the ball. It's not an easy one to put away. There were moments for Senegal, but not a lot of them. And it was nice to see them get a goal from Mbaye towards the very end of this game, because I don't think they were necessarily 3 goals worse than France, and so it didn't end up that way. It just seemed to me that there was a clear difference between these two teams for as much talent as there is in the Senegal attack, and they could still go quite far in this tournament. They didn't concede a lot of really obvious chances to France, but the talent in their attack is Mane, who I thought was really quiet in this game, and that probably needs to change. A lot of the play came through Sarr on the right rather than Mane on the left. But Mane is still very, very good, and Jackson is a player that I think is excellent. And then Sarr was quite bright in this game, and there are other options still in the Senegal attack. There's quality there, but the difference between what they looked like throughout this game and what France looks like once they hit the button in the second half is still wild, right? This is a France team that scored 3 goals without even really trying, it felt like, in the second half. And Senegal had to work for every single chance that they got. They did not have the ability to create the same separation against the French back line that France did against theirs. And to me, this game sort of crystallized, wow, okay, France is a tier 1 contender, and Senegal are just not that.
They're certainly not tier 1. I think there is more to be positive about, to your point, Ryan, to your question, than maybe the scoreline suggests. Because the first goal is, as I said, like, it's a strike of lightning, and it's 2 players being incredibly precise and good at what they do. The third goal is just an Mbappe like screamer, like the man can hit a ball when he wants to. And so like those are difficult to defend. I'll kind of give them credit for that, but I'll also give Senegal credit for the way they defended in the first half, because I thought engaging higher up the pitch, like when France were trying to build from a goal kick, it was usually a front 3 for Senegal, then a 4, then a 3 again. But then any one of those center backs for Senegal would then track any runners dropping deep, usually Dembele. And so you never got a midfield overload behind that front three. So even if the ball came in, it was basically just a scrum with a number of bodies in there. So it funneled France wide. It kind of limited their ability to create in a meaningful way until France found a way through. And to Joe's point, I thought Mane was really quiet. And I do wonder if against perceived weaker opposition, if he's just unshackled a little bit more, because it felt like in this one, he was... And I don't think of that as being a thing that Mane is particularly good at. Not that he's bad defensively, but you want him, I think, in isolation, in space where he can receive the ball and go, or he can be played in, and now he's a threat you have to deal with, and maybe that creates something, maybe it's a foul, what have you. But it felt like when he's starting deeper, now he has more ground to cover. It's harder for him to be as involved in the attack, and it just didn't feel as like lightning fast as it's felt, say, in AFCON when they won and then didn't win.
That was the thing that happened. Let's not forget. Sadio Mane also involved in one of the more interesting plays in this game as well. The penalty that was overturned. Well, not overturned,
not given,
I suppose.
Was it?
So it was something that was rare, where the referee was called over to VAR to review because they thought he made a clear and obvious error in he should have given Mbappe a penalty when he was fouled by Sadio Mane. The referee stuck to his guns. I mean, we don't see that very often, where the technology is there, the assistants are in the room saying, you need to look at this, we think you made an error. And he's like, no, I was good, I'm fine,
I saw
thank you very much,
I'm good.
Like, and part of me thinks, bravo, refereeing the game, that's what you should do. But also part of me thinks, what's the point of VAR? We're just gonna have the guy say what he's doing anyway.
But I did like the way he backed himself multiple times in this game, and I think there is, like, I thought it was going to be given for sure, because when Mane slides through, he does like catch Mbappe's trailing leg as he's running through. And as we've seen time and time again, when a player's running at full speed, even just that little bit of a knock, if it puts you off when you plant, you're going to fall. It's going to be given. But I like that there's an argument that, like, it's kind of a good tackle, and Mbappe maybe makes the contact, maybe he sells it a little bit. Either way, it would have felt like a soft penalty to me. So I like that he didn't give it. But then for the third goal, Olise is fouled and is stopping to complain to the referee. And you can see from the ref cam, he looks at Olise, turns, puts the arm up to play on, and like as he's doing it, Mbappe is shooting into the net. And I would have forgiven him if we had the who was the ref who would always celebrate his calls?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
He would always, I think, like he was alleged to be like a Tottenham fan because he would always, was it Mike Dean? But if he got like an advantage call right and somebody scored, you'd see him like be celebratory about getting it right.
Man? I love that.
I mean, yeah. And so I like that,
like
in this
Napoleon
game,
Dynamite's brother. Like,
it was a little bit like that. Yes. So I like the officials' performance in this one. I liked a good amount of the officiating in this match day and kind of across the tournament so far. I feel like we've avoided major controversy that I can recall.
I think so. But also I think we've shown the fallibility of VAR in a way because of that incident, because there was an Austria-Jordan incident where there was a handball where it could have gone either way. Both of those could have gone either way and we wouldn't have had complaints, really. There wouldn't have been injustice. So
yeah, and I'll say, like, this is a minor quibble, but like being at the game last night, the Iran-New Zealand game, there was an element, and maybe this just is a thing with VAR, but like you want to celebrate, but you're also like, ooh, that like maybe it was offside from here, and VAR is going to look at it, and we don't quite know, and it does tamp down the immediate like celebrations and that feeling of immediate relief. I think maybe the solution is just to celebrate everything as though you've scored, and then if they call it back, then that's on them, and you can throw things at the refs. Don't throw things at the refs.
Don't do that.
Ryan, you said that there hasn't been a controversy yet. Should we just start one? The three of us right now. I was thinking of starting the controversy that Graham actually loves VAR. He's sleeping, so he wouldn't be able to fight back. You know, you think we could get that going? I bet we could.
The Ruthven brothers do love. I have this on good authority. The wave.
Yes.
Love it. Favorite thing in soccer. They clap whenever it comes around on the screen.
That's controversial, right there.
Big fans love it every minute.
Mission accomplished.
That fits in with their cheery disposition. You're quite right. Very good. France 3, Senegal 1. France off to a wonderful start too. Who else is off to a wonderful start? Norway. Let's talk about them after this quick break. Listen up, Stream Squadron. It is 11:52 p.m. and the birds are going insane behind us.
It's the one mockingbird who's just like,
he's literally mocking us.
I can do it all. You don't need any other birds.
That's why he came to Hollywood.
Joe is so not here for the bird talk, and it's really fun.
You suggested the bird.
My bad.
Earlier.
My bad. You're right. That was a faux pas.
Stream Squadron.
All right. Okay.
It's late. 2 more games to cover. Let's do it. Here we go. Total Soccer Show, welcome back to World Cup Daily. Why don't we turn our attention to Norway's 4-1 win over Iraq? Erling Haaland scoring Norway's first World Cup goal since 1998. 28 years, that is, according to math. We had Ayman Hussein with the goal for Iraq to make it 1-1. Looked like we had a contest on our hands. Then Haaland got another with a pretty insane personal pressing mission on the goalkeeper to get that one. And Norway accelerated away at that point. Taylor, Erling Haaland has Braut Haaland on his shirt for the national team here. I wonder if there's like an identity thing here. I'm not the Man City Erling Haaland. I'm the Norway Erling Haaland. I'm slightly different. I press more and I don't just score 2 types of goal. Is it that?
I am completely speculating, but I wonder if Braut is like his maternal name, and so he wants to represent both since they're both Norwegian. Sure. I have no idea if that's true, but he was like Erling Braut Haaland for a while early in his career. I feel like when he first goes to Dortmund, he had maybe both, but I could be wrong. Either way, it was a really fun Erling Haaland, and it was a reminder of just how good he is. It's fun to me, Ronaldo, very lazy today. I guess I'll just have to wait till tomorrow, but it was cool to see like one of the 2 like goats of a certain generation perform, and then both of the next generation, even though they're not like particularly young at this point, still pretty young, but they both also came to play and perform really well. And Haaland, I do think, led by example, the way he pressed, the way he created his own chances, the way he created goals himself, but then still crashed, still got on the end of stuff. Just, I do think, was the like talismanic figure you need if you are a Norway team making their first appearance since 98, as you said, but also maybe being a little bit nervy, and you would forgive them for being slightly overawed by the occasion, being back at that stage with a little bit of pressure on them. And I'm assuming being aware that so many people have identified them as a dark horse, that like, if you don't have Haaland firing on all cylinders, are you as effective? Are you as efficient? Almost certainly not. And they still get good performances out of other key players for this team. But Haaland, I think, leading by example and setting the standard is a thing that Norway need if they want to keep going.
Excellent stuff. By the way, do you know who was a member of the 98 Norwegian squad?
I'm going to guess Alf Inge Haaland?
Ståle Solbakken, baby. He's back in coach form.
Was Alf Inge Haaland like attempted to be murdered at that point by Roy Keane, or does that happen later? That happens later, right?
A little bit later. I think a year or 2 later. But yeah, that's all part of the tapestry of Norwegian soccer. Joe, my keen observation from this game was that...
Oh, you got another one?
I'm full of them tonight. Good. Yeah. Norway plays really big.
Yeah. There was a bit of that, wasn't there?
Yeah. The contrast in size between the 2 teams was quite striking. Particularly, there's a couple of big Norwegian boys.
Yeah. It was great. It made me so happy. Who was this? Ayer, the center back for Norway, when he like gets a talking to by the ref and he goes to talk to the Iraqi defender who is defending him to be like, I wasn't fouling you, was I? And it's literally like looking down at us.
Tiny one,
little buddy, and he's like, no, it's okay, you weren't. Like, it was just like, oh man, this is going to be difficult to defend.
Yeah, and that's going to be a bit of Norway's experience, I think, at this tournament coming into this summer. It's a lot of, for Solbakken, it's a lot of Haaland, of course, up top, but then it's Sorloth, who's playing almost as a target winger, but they almost never play through him, so he's not really a target winger. He's just a big lad playing on the wing who then can tuck in and play striker, and he and Odegaard had sort of this balanced relationship on the right side, and that's quite common for Norway. They're a large team, and you saw Haaland get his couple of goals, but you also saw him elevate on that ball that he plays across. He heads back across the face of goal, and Norway capitalized, and they score off of that. So Haaland was central even when he wasn't actually putting the ball in the back of the net himself. This is a physical team. It's a team that can run quite a bit. Even Odegaard, right? There's a big miscommunication on the goal that Iraq score. What Odegaard, he gives up, and you like Odegaard to do more defensively than he does there. He also clearly thinks that a defender is going to slide out of the box to go and pressure the cross that Iraq play in. And then you also, in the failure cascade, because every goal is a failure cascade, right? Also inside the box, it would be nice if one of the 3 Norwegian defenders actually went up and marked the man, and all of a sudden you're not dealing with the embarrassment of being tied 1-1 with Iraq. At the same time, Norway have athleticism, and Odegaard was one of the leaders in this game for distance covered. He runs his tail off for Arsenal. I think that's a huge reason why Arteta likes him so much. And you combine that spirit in the team with the physicality that they have, and you have a version of Norway that can be quite dangerous. And that's the version of Norway that blitzed Italy in World Cup qualifying and sort of made a name for themselves. And Haaland was always going to make a name for them, but did it as a team in qualifying and got to the World Cup. I thought that was impressive from Norway. I did not think they, as a whole, despite winning by 3 goals, Iraq's not very good. I didn't think that they looked especially convincing in this game, but it's also not their best game. It's not their best kind of game. They don't always want to be the team that is having to make the game. I think they would rather just be able to go and exploit the cracks that you leave when you're trying to make the game. And so in that way, it is a job well done for Norway, even if I wasn't all the way in on them in this.
Yeah, I'd agree with everything Joe said. It felt like the best way I can put it is not a very nuanced performance, which maybe gets to your idea of like height advantage, physicality, go for it. But it did seem like Wolf on the left and Ryerson on the right played as pretty like conventional standard attacking fullbacks, and then you had your 2 center backs with maybe some cover in Senderberga, but it felt like sort of standard in the way they were approaching it, and you'd get those fullbacks high, and then they're kind of like bombing in crosses or maybe cutting inside and trying to find a pass, but there wasn't a lot of like rotation and variation to that the way we saw with France or Argentina, and I guess not really Austria either. So maybe just France or Argentina. So maybe it's unfair to compare Norway to those two, but it worked for them in this game. But I think if they are going to like certainly get out of the group and then make a run, you do have to have a little bit more variation in the attack. And I wonder if against a stronger opponent, we do see more of that, because there has to be variety. There has to be ways to kind of discombobulate and throw off and overload. And maybe against Iraq, it was more of a like, just blitz them as much as you can. And literally they did blitz them and did force a goal out of it. So, and kind of another goal at the very end as well. So it felt like that kind of direct approach did work in this game. It might not work against the other teams in their group, but at the same time, it might not need to, because they might have other options for those games.
Non-big boy stuff, you mean?
Potentially. Would be risky.
The third and fourth goals, as you say, were just big boy centric. So,
well, yeah. I think that's going to suit them quite well, actually, as they move through this group and through this tournament, where they've probably played the lowest quality team that they're going to play. With respect to Iraq, I thought Al-Hamadi and Hussein combined quite well up top. That was a fun front two for them in their 4-4-2, and they were able to generate some chances. It's not like they were totally toothless in this game, Iraq, but they did not pose a real consistent threat to this Norway team. They made big mistakes. They were able, even Norway, I don't think looked their best in their possession setup. They were able to manufacture some chances. So this was the team that Norway was going to have the easiest time beating, even though the stylistic matchup didn't quite fit for them. I do think against Senegal and France, we're going to see an entirely different look from Norway. We are still going to see them use the big boy stuff on set pieces. They're still going to be aggressive in the press at times, but the whole game is going to change, where they're going to have to be more compact, because if they leave themselves as exposed as they were in this game, even with their size and physicality, that is not a recipe for success in some of these games that they're going to have coming up against France and Senegal. So I am stoked as far as games for the next round, because we're getting to the point where we can start to think about those games. I know, right? Crazy. Norway against Senegal, Norway against France. Those are games that everybody's going to have circled for obvious reasons, but also I think how Norway adapt and how they approach keeping some of the things that we saw in this game, being direct defensively, having some of those high pressing moments, but then also sitting with a deeper line of confrontation and not having to do as much of the intricate possession stuff that I don't think they did very well in this game. That's going to be really, really interesting to watch.
Very much agree. And then would just add that like there's also a chance that we do still see some of what we saw from this game, but I think it could be more effective, because to Joe's point, if Sorloth is kind of drifting out wide and is functioning as like a target that you can aim for in the channel, or that you can play balls over the top and he'll bring it down and then look for a centering pass. And if you have Ryerson overlapping on that side, and that's the side that Sadio Mane is defending, and then also trying to transition to attack, it does maybe wonder if there will be more opportunities there and more potential for overloads via a direct attack. Either way, I agree with Joe. I think we'll see lots of variation to Norway in their next game, and I am here for it.
Me too. I like Norway a lot. I like the country. I also really like their traveling support for this one as well. Those bright red shirts in the stands, I think that stands out a bit. They're obviously all big boys as well, so it's like, you know, they're maybe did they take two seats each? I don't know. Either way, I feel like Tromsø was empty because like Norway were all in Boston today.
It might well be they're just like gone to World Cup. Someone
blew a giant horn and everyone had to leave Norway to go to Boston.
Get in the long ships. I have a question. So heading into the World Cup, I was very excited about the Norway like rowing chant that they do. It does feel, once you realize that they do it just kind of faster and with the same noise as the Icelandic chant. Do we still enjoy it a lot?
It's like a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Because it's the same thing.
It really is. It's just you're not clapping. Instead, you're doing the rowing. Yeah. I did enjoy seeing who was fully locked into the game, because you're supposed to do the full body row, like to really sell it. And there was a few people when everybody would do it who were just like like really focused on.
Guys, I'm trying to watch. I can't row right now.
It was like Magnus Ruthven, I think, like not really trying to participate in the group cheer, but also recognizing that they have to.
Solback could turn around at one point and go, "Make sure your shoulder blades are touching. Come on."
Do you feel it in your lats?
Very good. Very entertaining stuff from the Norwegians with that win over Iraq. One other game to speak about on this here Tuesday. We're rolling into Wednesday as we record.
It's officially Wednesday.
It's officially Wednesday. Congrats, everybody. We made it. Austria 3, Jordan 1. Austria's first time in the tournament since 1998 as well, just like those Norwegians. They didn't mention it on the broadcast, I don't think. Jordan, the debutants in this tournament. We had a disallowed Arnautovic goal. We had a penalty Arnautovic goal. We had Austria getting the better of it, but Jordan stronger than we expected.
We had Arnautovic also subbing on at halftime and then looking immediately injured and like he could not run anymore, especially after they'd used all their substitutions, but then playing through it and scoring a penalty goal and being physical in the attack. So maybe it was all just trickery by Marko Arnautovic. Either way, I thought he looked like Marko Arnautovic when he came on and made things happen up top. He was a big target man and functioned accordingly. But I thought this game was much more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. I figured this was maybe like 4-0 to Austria, 4-1 maybe. It does end up 3-1, so maybe that's a little bit harsh because I think Jordan created and caused problems and caused more problems than I thought. I thought Altamari up top was kind of exactly what I hoped he would be when I previewed this team, of like the one bright spot who can create a ton and cause problems. I was really concerned in my preview about Ali Olwan, who wears number 9 but plays out wide, because he can get on the end of chances. He can score some goals. He was their leading scorer in qualifying, but he also is a little bit profligate at times and misses key chances when you really need him not to. But here in this game, he takes the one he had and he finished it well. He puts it off the post. Another one where we get to see the whole angle of him watching it and begging it to bank in off the post. And it does in a way he reels. And then Austria find a way through. And it did feel like at points in the second half, this was going to be a much more comfortable win for Austria than it ended up being.
Yeah, this really was the Taylor Rockwell game where you were right about Al-Tarami up top and how fun he was. And then you also right about how chaotic Awulela was going to be in the back. The VSP that you had, right, was that Jordan's goalkeeper was going to have a howler and a save. Like a great save. Yeah. Great save and a noticeable howler. Well, we ticked off the howler bucket
a couple times.
There's the moment where he comes off his line for the goal that Arnautovic thinks he scored, but it's called back for the handball. That was all right. I was going to give that to you all on its own, but it didn't end up happening, despite the fact that the howler still very much was real. He just got bailed out. And then later, the ball comes back to him on a back pass, and he swings and tips it out of bounds behind his own goal. There were a couple of those moments, Taylor. So you were, credit to you and the level of detail that you went into in your Jordan preview. I think you were following this game truly more closely than anyone without any real ties to Jordan in the United States was. You were locked in, and to your credit, you were right about literally everything for this team except for the Olwan thing. He was good.
I was just happy. Like, they showed up ready to fight, man, and they really went for it, Jordan. And I think like it felt like it could be one of those games where once Austria scored, it's like, okay, like it's going to be 1-0 and then it's going to be 2-0 in the 85th and nothing's really going to happen. And Jordan found their ability to create chances. And I think had some electrifying moments, maybe slightly fewer and far between as the game went on. But poor Awulela. Because yes, he has the one that goes out of bounds. He has the flap, that one that's overturned, and he has the other one where he stays down despite maybe not getting actually hit.
Yeah, Arnautovic like kind of hits him in the face, or maybe sticks his hand in his mouth. I'm not really sure which one that was.
Yeah, and then I think ran his mouth a little bit because after the penalty or after the own goal, that's when there's some trash talking and some shoving and whatnot. And I also think on a more damning front, as fun as Jordan were and as difficult as they seemed at times, they also, I think, pretty clearly gave a blueprint for anybody who wants to beat them, which is put the corner in the 6-yard box and put some bodies in there, and something's going to happen. More than I've seen with any other team in this tournament, it feels like corners are going to be a vulnerability.
Well, it was, you could see it coming because the first corner, it's wow, it is late. Savitzer takes the in-swinger, and that's the goal that we think is a goal, and then it's disallowed. And then you come after the long VR check and the hydration break, and finally we're back to the game. Oh, those great, by the way, the hydration breaks. We're loving them.
Love it.
Then you have Savitzer step over to the corner flag, and he takes another corner, puts it in basically the exact same spot. And you just had the sense, almost like Messi-esque, right? We're waiting for Messi to score when he gets the ball, and we feel like it's coming. I had a very similar sense watching this goal happen, the own goal, because it just felt so obvious. It felt like it was written in the stars because Jordan just could not deal with those moments. Austria were smart to take advantage on set pieces. They had enough quality to win this game. I still was not impressed with Austria. Today was sort of the day of me not being fully impressed with winners. Argentina impressed because of Messi, and also because of their defensive work, but not comprehensively impressive. France took a half off, and I wasn't impressed with that, obviously. Norway didn't look all that comfortable in possession, but hopefully that doesn't matter. And then in this game, Austria had a lot of interesting kind of approach play where they would get the ball into the final third, and there's a lot of this Ralph Rangnick idea, this Red Bull idea that Jesse Marsch calls quick play, which is when you have a bunch of players in close combination with each other, and there's these little tricks and flicks to get you past a man or two and into dangerous areas where the ball is just pinging very, very quickly in that Red Bull sort of way. Rangnick's that guy, right? We know that he's the Red Bull guy, and that was present here. But the problem that I talked about in the Austria preview is that the attack is quite light.
No, what do you mean? They had a world-class superstar striker up top, Joe. What more do you need?
Yeah, Kolazic did his best.
I'm at the other one.
Oh, Arnautovic. Oh, Konrad Laimer. Konrad Laimer, the right back, the center mid turned right back, turned second forward that we saw in this game. No Baumgartner for this team. He gets injured right before the World Cup. He's at the World Cup, but he's on crutches. Laimer is deputizing as that second forward. I think that does tell you a little bit about the lack of quality in this attack. Credit to Romano Schmidt. I mean, that goal is phenomenal that he scores. It's not very repeatable, is it? Unless you're Lionel Messi. I think there are reasons to worry that this Austria attack will not hold up in games where they need to be the protagonists. And they have another game potentially against Algeria where that's going to happen in this group. They're probably still going to make it out. A win is basically enough to do that with just something else to happen for you. But I don't think it's guaranteed for this team.
No, I was confused by a lot of things from Austria, starting with the usage of Konrad Laimer, which I guess makes sense. We saw him deployed a little bit further forward for Bayern Munich at times this season. But credit to Mr. Lowery. He gives me credit for my...
Thanks for saying that, man. I only give you credit so you give me credit. So I appreciate you finishing the job.
But I like that we both got like a portion of our specific prediction because I'm still waiting for the good save from Abu Layla. You're still waiting for what? One more position?
Yeah, we got left back and second striker for Konrad Laimer today. When I get three, at the moment, I'm just running full back draws, like right up the gut. You know, we're going to get there. We're getting 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. I'm inching my way towards that first down in that VSP.
Have we ever seen that positional switch at a World Cup? Do you think that wasn't out of like sheer desperation? Like we're putting a forward as a wing back because we got to make something happen. I don't think I've ever seen a team that was like winning be like, forward, you become a defender now, and that's who you are.
That's a good question.
But I also think, aside from Konrad Laimer, there were curious decisions from Austria in a lot of different areas of the pitch. That first goal that you mentioned, it's a great hit, but it's also by Schmidt, but it's also like Austria having runners that forced the Jordanian defense back. And they were almost in their 5-4-1. They were almost too compact. They had everybody inside the 18, but like almost like maybe 12 to 15 yards from goal. And because of that, they can't then step out and make a play. And to me, again, that's a blueprint for make those runs, force them back, and then take your shots. And either you're going to hit it on frame and it's going to be a screamer, or you have a ton of bodies in there. Maybe it's going to be a corner. Maybe it deflects and goes in. But either way, you're forcing them back and then creating chances. I struggle to think of a time when they did that again. And instead, it felt like they were trying to control the game, trying to kind of kill it with possession, but then didn't have the precision to be able to do that. And then at a certain point in the second half, just went back to like pressing and physicality and big balls and big bodies. And it ended up working out, which I guess is a testament to Ralph Rangnick's big balls. But in this case, I think it doesn't really give me like the level of security that this is a team that has figured it out. The first 15 minutes, I thought like, wow, Austria have come to play. They've got some patterns. They've got some rotations. They've got plenty of technique in there.
Never did anything.
And then they never really did anything with it. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. There we go. Austria-Jordan was a game that happened on this match day. That's something we can say about it. We look forward to Wednesday, which is today as we record now. Time is a flat circle. The final day of the first round of group stage games. We made it, guys. We made it. We've made it. So tomorrow, Portugal against DR Congo. We've got England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama, and Uzbekistan, Colombia.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, into that?
Yeah. I mean, first World Cup, they don't have nearly as much star power as anybody that they're going to be facing at this tournament. Maybe Panama. They might be equal with Panama. But I think
it's going to be a group, unfortunately. But yes, that's a nice sentiment.
Yeah, they're in trouble. But either way, I think that it'll be fun to watch Uzbekistan. But I think the way they qualified, they would have qualified even without the expanded World Cup. They have a really solid defensive foundation. You have Kusanov from Manchester City, who is their like most talented player, but also I think a very experienced leader for them, even at such a young age. They do have youngsters coming through. They have veterans. And against a Colombia team that can be so difficult and can be so tricky with their pressing and their specific pressing triggers and the way they can attack, I still think there is an opportunity there to just frustrate and defend and outwork Colombia. And I think that could be a game that goes not according to plan and maybe is a point for Uzbekistan. But either way, I think they're going to make Colombia work for it from start to finish.
Ryan Bailey said earlier that he is actually excited for the England game tomorrow. So we finally gotten there. Ryan, can you give us your prediction quickly before we get out of here?
0-0.
There it is. So exciting.
I can't wait.
Me too.
Can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Good.
It's going to be fun. We're going to get that one out of the way, and then we're going to start ripping it up.
Can Croatia be drab? That is
England can be.
I know they can be.
We
but
can
like,
make anyone drab, honey. We can do that. Okay.
I mean, it's so frustrating that I want to disagree with you and be like, no, Croatia will make this fun, and then England will have to respond. But also, I feel like both of them are going to look at the schedule and think, yeah, a point does us well here. We're fine with it. It feels like a game that might be really fun for the first 30 to 45 minutes, like to the first cooling break. And then maybe after that, it's one of those games that's like, oh, okay, this is a draw. We can kind of half pay attention now.
There you go. Prove us wrong, Tommy T.
Hurricane hat trick incoming.
There we go. Excellent stuff. There we go. That's another episode of World Cup Daily. Taylor Rockwell, thank you very much indeed for your expertise, you wonderful human.
Such as it is, I'm a little nervous that Colombia are going to like swamp Uzbekistan, and I will be right back here today saying, oops, sorry, but for now, I'm confident in Uzbekistan, mostly.
Cool.
My pleasure.
Joe Lowery, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, Ryan.
And listener/viewer, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you very much. We'll be back very shortly, but for now, bye.
But we're still here for another few seconds.
Only for a few.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was. 4 games, a long time. Here we are.